Hey guys, this is Mr. Wickwar, and this is tutorial 2 for SketchUp. I'm just going to go over a few things. You can click on this if you need to watch the second portion. We're going to talk about arched roofs. We're going to talk about walkways. We're going to talk about how to get dimensions, a little bit about layout, and then walls. Okay, so to start with, what we're going to do is just go over what we did yesterday. Okay, we should have built a fence that's 300 by 300. You should have built a roadway that's approximately 15 feet wide that goes all the way around, and you should have had a scale building. Okay. I called mine Santa's headquarters, but you can do what you want. Remembering a little bit about the tools. Okay. Remember to click on one of my favorite tools is this little finger right here, and it is called the pan tool. It allows you to move left and right, okay, or wherever you want to do. Remember, pushing in the scroll button automatically turns into the orbit tool, okay, and that allows you to orbit around and rotate. Okay, so I like to get right where I want to get, which is next to this building. So I'm going to kind of scroll in and make sure I'm pretty close to that. And then I'm going to get a little bit of an angle. I'm going to grab my rectangle tool. Okay, and I'm going to come right off the edge of this one. If you move to the right, it will literally snap into place for you. And this building is supposed to be 30 by 30 by 20. So as I eyeball and I look at my dimensions down to the right, okay, as soon as I get sort of close, which is about right there, I'm going to let go. Don't move the pencil. 3O apostrophe, comma, space, 3O apostrophe. And you'll see my dimensions on the right are 30 by 30. I hit enter, and my building is a perfect 30 by 30 flat space. Push pull tool, lift that up. It's supposed to be 20 feet. When I get pretty close to 20, which is about right there, I let go. I type in 20 apostrophe enter. Okay, now I'm simply going to scroll back out, and I'm going to put an arched roof on this. Okay, to put an arched roof on this, I'm again going to get into position using my finger tool called the pan tool, and I'm going to get about at the angle I need to get, which is about like this. Okay, I'm going to click on the 2-point arc tool. It's underneath the pencil. If you scroll to the different uh, 2-point arcs or arcs that you can do, the 2-point arc is the one you will use most. You click on one edge and the other edge, and the trick here is you got to go up the y-axis or the north-south. If it's going this way, you don't want that. Okay, so you got to watch, and sometimes you have to rearrange your angle by pushing in the orbit tool to make it go the way you want to go. So it's kind of being difficult with me. So I'm just going to kind of scroll out a little bit, scroll to the left, and eventually it'll go where you want to go. There we go. That's the blue axis. It even tells me that. Then I click left click. Now I just scroll back around. I'm going to grab my push pull tool, and I'm going to pull this all the way till it snaps, which is about right here. Okay, so there I have a new building. Remember the other day on the warm up, we talked about materials. Your materials list is right over here. It's behind the checkerboard square. Okay, and here I can collapse these if I don't want them all to be popping up like so. It's a little helpful that I can see them all. Here I'm just going to quickly make a roof. Okay, I'm going to make a metal roof, so I'm going to choose this cool metal here and just paint my roof. I'm going to spin around real quick using the orbit tool. When I do that, I'm just pushing in the orbit. Okay, and then let's color the side. This time I'm just going to pick a color. Let's make it red since we're trying to be holiday themed. It's totally up to you how you decorate. And then we're going to go ahead and label this. A little bit about labeling. It is behind the rectangle tool. It's the letter A for text. Okay, here you're going to type in whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call this one, let's call it Rudy's Diner. Nothing's finer than Rudy's Diner. Come eat. Okay, once I get my Rudy's Diner, I'm going to click OK. And it's easy. It's much easier to do this if you're facing the building. I'm going to click it. If you wanted to increase the size of that, you can click the orbit tool. And I'm sorry, not the orbit tool. It's behind the throwing star, which is the move tool. It looks like a home plate. I click on it. It's called the scale tool. Allows you to stretch this out. And then I use the move tool, which is the throwing star, okay, to move back and center this. Okay, so I'm going to put it about like so. And as long as we're doing colors, let's go ahead and fill that. I'm going to use a pretty Christmas green. Oops. There we go. Let me undo that again. Okay, I got to get that paint piece right in the center of that. Should have picked a different font. Okay, that's being difficult, so let's just go back and keep this the way it was. And I'll color this back part. No, let's go back to red. Let's see if it'll let me do that. There we go. And it's a little off, but you get the idea. Okay, to set that, we're just going to set that in space. And there we go. Okay, now we're ready to kind of make some walkways here. Okay, to make a walkway, you click on your rectangle tool. And don't ask me how wide a walkway is. The answer is I don't know. Okay, I know that the walkway outside the sidewalk is about 4 feet wide. So I'm going to make mine about 4 feet. And then I'm going to make one off this that goes down here in case you wanted to go back behind there to dump some trash or something. Okay, and then if I want to pick a coloring for that, I'm going to do brick. Let's just do a little brick road there. And then someone asked me the other day, how do we make an arched walkway? Okay, so here I'm going to click on my finger tool again, and I'm going to scooch this back so you guys can see it. And we're going to make this an arch. I'm going to click on the 2-point arc again. I'm going to go one here and one there, and then just kind of bring it out this way and click. Okay, if it doesn't fill, which it didn't, look what I did. I accidentally put it underneath the ground. So I'm going to go back a couple, and let's just try that again. Okay, so now I'm going to get it at a different angle. I'm going to go 1, 2, and let go. Notice the way it filled. Okay, so that means that we are good to go to fill it. And that's how you do an arc. You could go in there and click on these lines and delete them if they're bothering you. Okay, you could even go over here and behind the pencil, you could do, I don't know, let's do a little koi pond here. We're just going to do our freestyle koi pond. Anybody seen The Office where that Michael falls into the koi pond? It's a classic. Anyways, I'm going to go down here and click water and fill that in. And it should fill in. There we go. Got a little koi pond. Maybe you want to put a wall around that so people don't get into it. Someone asked me how to do a wall. Easiest way to do a wall for me is the pencil tool. So I'm going to click on the pencil tool, and I'm just going to draw a wall right here to protect people. Make sure you're on the axes. You know you're on the axis if when you let go, it tells you. I'm going to go up on the blue axis, and I'm going to move this over. And as soon as it snaps like that, I'm going to connect the dots. I got myself a little fence there. What I wanted was a wall. So I'm going to go over here and grab the push-pull tool, pull this wall out just a little. Now we got a wall behind our koi pond. We can make that a nice short wall if we want to, just for safety reasons. Okay, anyways, you kind of see how that works. I'm not going to fill that. You can do that. And then finally, let's talk just a little bit about the park. Okay, I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to use my finger tool to move back to the center. I don't care what you use for your park. My park, and I'm eventually going to connect this road to go outside, make a real grand entrance, but we'll talk about that in the next tutorial. I did a skate park. Okay, here you can do a basketball court, you can do a football stadium, you can do whatever you want. It's not a ton of room. A dog park, whatever you want here. Okay, but I did a skating park, and the way I did that is I did a half pipe. Okay, and you guys know what this is. I'm going to click the rectangle. I made one years ago. It was about 20 feet wide by about 30 feet long, and I raised it up about 16 feet. So we're going to pull this up about 16 feet like so. And then I'm going to scoop it out with the 2-point arc. Okay, I'm going to zoom in here, give myself a little room for my skateboarders to, and then I'm going to go straight down. And then I'm going to use the push-pull tool to get rid of that. And you have yourself a half pipe. Okay, same thing with ramps. You want to make a ramp, take your pencil tool, draw it straight on an axis. This one's on the green. Go up to the blue. And then connect the dots. And then use your push-pull tool to pull that out. Okay, now I know I went over a lot, but if we zoom out, look what we got. We got our second house that's to scale, the second building, I should say. We now know how to do walkways. We can even attach them to the entrances. A wall, a random koi pond, or a shape that's not a round or I should say a square or a triangle. Ramps, cutouts. Okay, start building your city all the way around this. Whatever park you want. Remember not to download models until the very end, until I say yes, basically. All right, that is it. Have fun. Build away.